on 7 News at noon.
We have breaking news. Firefighters walking through the rubble after a fire at a school in Lawrence. We're live with the latest.
Crews still on the scene of another fire in Belmont. A building on the McLean Hospital property goes up in flames.
And President-elect Donald Trump detailing his plans for the White House in his first interview since the election.
And the Patriots fall just short in their showdown with the Seahawks.
And while your Monday forecast feels like we're back to September or else going straight to spring, we do have a whole different scenario headed our way tomorrow with some potentially very high tides. More on that in just a moment.
All right, we have all that and a lot more
coming up next at noon.
This is 7 News at noon.
First up, we have breaking news here at noon today. Crews racing to the scene after a fire breaks out at a school in Lawrence. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Krista Delcamp.
And I'm Sarah French. More than 500 students had to evacuate. 7's Steve Cooper joining us now live with the very latest on this.
Sarah, the flames are out right now, but the damage has been done. And this stretch of Butler Street around the Bruce School is still shut down right now. You can see fire trucks, personnel on the scene right now, school officials as well. Everybody's still here. But all the kids and the staff made it out safely this morning. Now, fire officials are looking for a cause.
The teacher came in and she said, "Oh, fire, fire," and then we just left and I smelled smoke.
A charred classroom with broken windows. Just some of the damage left behind after fast-moving flames and heavy smoke tore through a second-floor science room around 8:30 this morning here at the Bruce School on Butler Street in Lawrence.
What was it like to see a fire at your school?
I was really nervous. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if my sister was safe or anything.
The fire went to 2 alarms. Officials say no one was in the classroom at the time the blaze broke out, but all 525 kids in grades 3 to 8 plus 70 staffers all made it out safely.
We had a fire on the second floor of an occupied school with 525 students, 70 staff members. Fire was contained to the second floor classroom.
The students were taken to the nearby Gilmet Middle School to continue the school day, while some parents came to the school to pick up their kids.
I was downstairs, and then upstairs was the fire.
Did you smell the smoke or did you see anything?
I didn't see anything or smell anything.
It's unclear right now how the fire started, but investigators have no reason to think it's suspicious. For the moment, everyone here is just thankful that no one was hurt.
The bottom line at the end of the day is all the kids and teachers are safe, and we'll figure out how to fix it and get back in class when we can.
All right, so no word on a cause right now and no word on when the school will reopen. That's something that school officials and fire officials are working on right now to assess. The superintendent told us that they were planning to have a fire drill here, a practice drill on Friday, part of the normal schedule here the school year, but they won't need that now. This was the real deal earlier today, but thankfully everybody's okay. We're live in Lawrence this afternoon. Steve Cooper, 7 News.
And crews still battling hot spots at the scene of another fire. This is new video from Sky 7 HD over an abandoned building in Belmont that went up in flames. You can see how much damage it caused. The building was on McLean Hospital property. 7's John Coco live now with more. John?
So, Sarah, this fire is still burning. It's still smoldering, but the crews here can't access that from the outside, so they're waiting on some heavy equipment to knock down some walls so that they can get inside.
Firefighters in Belmont dousing massive flames, torching a building on the McLean Hospital property.
Our police department, actually on an adjacent street, was smelling smoke and started to investigate at about 2:41 this morning and found the building well involved on floors 2 and 3.
The hospital says this is known as the Codman Building. Because it's in a remote area of the campus, no evacuations were needed and patient care wasn't disrupted. The fire department says the large U-shaped building has been abandoned for about 10 years, but used to house patients.
So all the utilities have been shut off to the building, and the building had basically been mothballed.
Until it was engulfed on Monday. Multiple area departments were called in to help contain the fire. Firefighters say accessing the building was difficult because of overgrowth, and water supply was an issue with thousands of feet of hose being used to reach the building.
There was heavy fire on both the second and third floor and up through the roof when the companies arrived.
Once the flames were under control and mostly smoke began to fill the sky, the concern became the safety of the structure.
So we're waiting for some heavy equipment to arrive that will allow us to take down the unstable brick walls and reach the hidden fire.
Now, until these crews can get inside, they won't be able to determine how this fire started. We're live in Belmont. John Coco, 7 News.
And 7 News now turning to the forecast. Let's take a live look outside right now on this Monday. It feels really mild out there. Not really like November, and temperatures well above normal. But how long is it going to last? Let's check in with Ren.
It's just a bit of a tease. I hope people aren't getting too used to this sort of weather. It honestly just feels like we've bypassed winter altogether and we're headed straight into spring or else early September again. Right now, mostly sunny skies, and take a look at these temperatures. We are warming up very quickly here. So you've got a pretty mild air mass overhead. Temperatures in the low 60s in Boston, already 63 degrees in Norwood. So they've warmed up more than 40 degrees since this morning. So very impressive temperature change. And you can see further to our west, temperatures in the low 60s in Fitchburg as well. A little cooler in Worcester at 57, but still very mild. And I actually think a lot of us are going to be looking at temperatures in the mid 60s today, well above our average highs by more than 10 degrees. Plenty of sunshine all day long. A great start to the work week. Hopefully you're able to get outside a little bit, especially during the lunch hour, because it's going to be so comfortable out there, not too breezy either. As we head into tomorrow, we are looking at the chance for rain as well as the chance for some minor coastal flooding. I'll have more details after the break.
Donald Trump sitting down for the first interview after his election win.
We're getting them out of our country. They're here illegally.
Trump outlining his plan to deport 3 million illegal immigrants with a criminal record once he takes office. The president-elect giving us a look at what a Trump White House will look like, opening up about everything from his planned border wall to Supreme Court justices. 7's Jennifer Egan live in our control room with more.
Sarah, Trump touched on a number of topics, appearing to soften his position on some while staying firm on others. Trump says he respects the burden he now has, but he's not afraid.
I've done a lot of big things. I've never done anything like this.
Donald Trump talking to 60 Minutes about what it's like now that he's been elected president.
Kind of just took your breath away. Couldn't talk.
A little bit. And I think I realized that this is a whole different life for me now.
But not everyone is happy with the results. There are protests in cities across the country, including here in Boston. Some have turned violent. There are also reports of threats and violence aimed at minorities since the election.
I am so saddened to hear that, and I say stop it. If it helps, I will say this, and I'll say it right to the camera, stop it.
The billionaire businessman saying he will not accept the president's salary of $400,000 a year.
The answer is no. I think I have to, by law, take $1, so I'll take $1 a year.
Trump also opening up about his upcoming Supreme Court nomination.
I'm pro-life. The judges will be pro-life.
And his campaign promise about appointing a special prosecutor to investigate Hillary Clinton.
I'm going to think about it. I feel that I want to focus on jobs. I want to focus on health care. I want to focus on the border and immigration and doing a really great immigration bill.
The president-elect talking about his immigration plans.
What we are going to do is get the people that are criminal and have criminal records, gang members, drug dealers. We have a lot of these people, probably 2 million, it could even be 3 million. We're getting them out of our country or we're going to incarcerate.
Trump even says there may be changes to the border wall he promised to build.
Would you accept a fence?
For certain areas I would, but certain areas the wall is more appropriate. I'm very good at this. It's called construction.
Trump was also asked if he's going to rein in the rhetoric he used while campaigning. He said it depends on the situation. Sometimes you have to be, quote, rougher. In the control room, Jennifer Egan, 7 News.
And this morning, Trump's team at the White House really starting to shape up. The president-elect naming the former RNC chair, Reince Priebus, as his White House chief of staff. Insiders say that Priebus really should be a reassuring presence to establishment Republicans still uncertain about really what a Trump White House will look like. And he spoke about that earlier today.
We've had a great partnership, and I've learned to get to know President-elect Trump and Steve Bannon and the whole team, and, you know, it has worked, and it has been a great partnership.
Well, you heard him mention Steve Bannon. Now, he's Trump's former campaign CEO, and he will be chief strategist and senior counselor to the president. That appointment is also prompting some outrage. Bannon was head of the conservative Breitbart website, which was aligned with the alt-right movement. Critics say the site promotes racist, sexist, and anti-Semitic conspiracy theories.
Police in Natick are investigating a possible hate crime related to the election after several disturbing letters turned up at a man's home. 7's Victoria Warren has more.
A hate crime investigation in Natick. These letters filled with racial slurs and threats left on a man's doorstep. A handwritten letter references clearing out the White House. A typed letter names Donald Trump. The letters tell the man that Natick is a white-only town and then go on to target his black and Latino roommates. One of the letters even threatens to kill them, saying these letters are warnings and the homeowner doesn't want to get a third one. Natick police say the letters were dropped off late last week. The man called 911, and police say they are taking this seriously and investigating it as a hate crime.
This is something other cities are dealing with right now. Two groups that track hate speech, the Southern Poverty Law Center and the Council on American Islamic Relations, say they have seen a spike in both hate speech and hate crimes reported to their agencies. In Natick, Victoria Warren, 7 News.
Well, it went down to the wire for the Patriots last night, but the Pats really in pain today after suffering their second loss of the season. It's a disappointing defeat coming at the hands of the Seattle Seahawks. This hard-fought game really came down to the final seconds in Foxborough.
But the Pats' last-ditch try on 4th down missed the mark.
And all kinds of action in the end zone. They look for a flag. They see none. Chancellor with a coverage. And Seattle's going to win it.
In the rematch of Super Bowl 49, the game once again decided on the 1-yard line. But this time, New England was the team that failed to score in the closing seconds.
It was about as competitive a game as you could get. Unfortunately, we just couldn't quite make enough plays.
Tom Brady couldn't connect with Rob Gronkowski on 4th and goal. There was contact between Gronk and Cam Chancellor, but no flag was thrown.
It is what it is. If it's not a PI to the refs, then it's not a PI to the refs. So I'm not here to make excuses to say that was a PI. So I just want to we just lost the game.
Chancellor did get penalized for a hit he delivered to Brady in the third quarter. He hit TB12's right leg. The QB was hobbled but did not leave the game.
You know, it's a little sore, but like I said, a lot of guys are pretty sore. So
the Pats lost 31-24. Their first loss since Brady returned from his suspension.
They got very good players, so it makes it tough. But we had plenty of chances. You know, our execution wasn't as good as it needed to be.
With the loss, the Pats are now 7-2.
We just got to keep moving forward and look forward to San Francisco.
The Pats will look to get back in the win column on Sunday when they take on the 49ers in San Francisco.
And coming up on 7 News at noon, Facebook under fire. Accusations that the social media giant spread misinformation during the presidential campaign.
And a rare sight, the supermoon making its way through the skies, plus how long it will be before we'll see it again.
And while it was a beautiful sight, that supermoon could cause us some very high tides as we head into tomorrow. I'll have those details in just a second.